A lot of pressure, man.
Yeah, it is.
Evil,
Knievel.
not our real names.
Nailed it.
What, you want me to do my bit? Okay, here we go.
Who are those guys?
You're gonna love it. It's just a little independent.
That might have been too much, man.
You're going to love this one.
You will love it.
We've been talking about this for a little bit, and I think I'm already feeling it in my voice. You're feeling some excitement. Welcome to A Little Independent Podcast, the show where friends talk about independent, obscure, and just plain weird movies. My name is Ryan.
And I'm Todd.
Hi, Todd.
Hi, Ryan.
That was and you're sick, and the Kathleen Turner came out really well.
Kathleen's in the sinus cavities.
Thank
right
you
now.
for being here, although you're not well. And the show must go on because this is an amazing show, as we talked about.
We are celebrating art, rain, snow, whatever the mailmen do.
We get to have three
Male
amazing human beings on the show with us. We have, as talked about, Kyle Weingart, writer and director, Zuzu Weingart playing Laura, and Kevin Jack as John in the film Cuisine De La Pocalypse. Welcome to our show.
Happy to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
So it's startling for us to have been able to connect with so many of you who did this film. As we talked about the movie, we loved it. And this is the kind of movie that I personally, it ticks all of my buttons as far as humor, as far as scalability, as far as feeling big but small. And Todd, your takeaway on the movie was?
Well, I like the auteur, the writer-director, the whole thing, and then the fact that the whole family's in it. And it's a whole family unit doing the auteur thing. I think you could rename that. I don't know if you want to do French, but we.
So having said that, Kyle, I want to start with you. We celebrate, writer director. So as we talked about, this is a real collaborative process. But what does it mean to you to be a writer director personally, and then in the business? What does that do for you?
Well, I love it. I've always been somebody who was telling stories, like in school, like always just, I don't know, just telling stories. And, as a kid, I was always trying to make people laugh. It's kind of ridiculous. I was like voted class clown every year in high school, but I hated that because I'm like, no, clowns are slapstick. I'm clever, but
You're a nuanced kid.
yeah, I was like, come on, So I don't know. I was always kind of doing that kind of stuff. And then when I met Zuzu, I was working at a gas station, and she was just like, "You're not going to work here for the rest of your life, are you?" And I was like, "Oh." So she probably had bigger plans, obviously, for me. So then I was like, well, I've always kind of wanted to make movies because we grew up making all these wacky little stupid movies. And then she's like, oh, you can definitely do that because my uncle is an editor down in Hollywood. And I was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that's achievable. And so then I started doing it and just kind of haven't looked back. And it's awesome to say that actually her uncle was the editor for Cuisine De La Pocalypse. So it all kind of came full circle, but I love it. It's my favorite thing to do. I do a lot of crew work too, but when I'm doing crew work, I'm, stressed and, doing all this stuff. But for whatever reason, when I get to write and direct my own stuff, it's very comfortable. It just, I love it.
Comfortable.
Yeah, I always tried.
Yeah, that's his passion. It's his comfort zone. Yeah.
Is it something that you find is that you're very attached to? Are you maybe leaning towards that in the future, and a collaborative affair like this film with Zuzu, with family?
Yeah. Well, especially, when you're directing, communication is like so huge. I mean, that's 90% of the job. And when you're working with people that you know how to communicate with effectively, like Zuzu, and honestly, and Kevin's family at this point, we've done so much together that it's just like, we just have a special language, a shorthand, and just like an understanding and a trust. The trust is also a big thing, yeah, it's my favorite thing to do ever. And these two people on here are probably, there's a lot of other people who are also my favorites, but these guys are
Noted. We got you.
Yeah.
This was based on a 20-minute short, and Kevin was in the short, correct? So,
And Nilo, yeah.
moving forward into this film, and you've done other things. What happened to make the short film happen, and then how did the short film become an actual film?
Well, yeah, we started out. We moved down to California from Montana, and we're like, oh, we're gonna, make it big in 2 seconds. That's how how it works. And we got down there, and we were doing some other stuff. Zuzu was acting in sporadic gigs, and I was doing a little PA work. But then I was like, we should just start making our own stuff. And me and Nilo, who plays Landeaux in the film, me and him worked at a hibachi grill together. We were both cooks.
Is that real?
And
Holy cow.
yeah,
And that was LA.
that was actually in Montana.
Oh,
so that
okay.
was before. And then I moved down to Montana, and then he hit me up one day, and he's like, "Yo, dude, I just moved down to LA. We should get together." And we walked along the beach after drinking some tequila and stuff, and it was pretty magical. And
As is he.
we were pitching, yeah, and we were pitching ideas, and then we I forget where I remember I got some MREs from a yard sale, and I was like, I feel like we could do something with these, and then we just kind of started developing the story.
Story wise, you saw an MRE, and you thought,
You got meals ready to eat.
yeah, and you thought this is what we could do. And when Zuzu, he comes to you with something like this, what is your response?
At first I was like, it wasn't this whole, the idea wasn't what it became at first. It went through a lot of iterations, but the first iteration was more like, kind of like mockumentary style, in the apocalypse, kind of like The Office, kind of where they have these breakout interviews.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. And then it kind of snowballed into this whole cooking show, and yeah, why not?
It feels
It's
like
unique, it's new. It's
was
fun.
was the always done for a little bit of humor? Was the joke always pretty big in it? Did it start even during the mockumentary? Was it always going to be a fairly funny movie and very heartfelt movie together?
Mm-hmm. And it really became more so those two things. That was always the idea, was to make it funny and then heartfelt as well. Because the world's gone, and it's about following your dreams no matter what. And but it wasn't until Kevin Jack, I met him, and he came aboard and just kind of became John. He added so much to the character. The character of John was pretty serious in the first iteration, on paper anyways. And then Kevin came in and was just so funny, and we just kind of leaned into that. And the interviews is where we just had I can't remember, we had some specific lines that we wanted for the interviews, but a lot of it was just let's play here,
Right.
and they ended up being so funny, and we just kind of leaned into it and leaned into Kevin, and that tone stayed through all the iterations, but just the scope of the apocalypse and this stuff, that's what really changed.
Kevin, is it true that you and Zuzu were working together at some point, and that's what may have brought this opportunity to you, or was it something else?
Yeah, we were working at a steakhouse, and she came in with Kyle one night. And of course, I'm game for anything at this point. So met them. Zuzu's awesome. She's such a great person and great to work with. So meeting Kyle was almost just, it was really fluid, from the start. And he said, I kind of got this idea. Would you be interested? And I've said, absolutely. Let's go for it. And then when I read it, I can only do my interpretation of who I am. I'm short. I'm 5'7". I don't really come across as sort of the mean looking guy. So when I read it, and doing, what this character is going to do, at least in this first iteration. That's kind of how I sort of formed it. How am I going to at least allow this character to sort of meander through the things that he needs to do?
Right.
He's got this cooking show. He's cooking the MREs, those lovely lentils. And, and I'm such a fan of The Office. So once we did that, sort of Office mockumentary type style, it just sort of kind of formed itself into it. I did not know until later. Like, I had no idea that the initial character was a lot more serious. But I'm thinking, okay, he's in the Army, but what was he doing and what got him here? Something had to get him here. Something has to keep him kind of pushing through. And how am I going to be able to do that with some believability?
Right.
And that's how it sort of kind of formed itself.
And that's interesting.
Yeah.
Did that version, that mockumentary version, show itself in the short, or had you flushed that away at that point?
The first one, no, we had it. That first 20-minute, we had it. That is in it. And then I think once we did the first proof of concept, that sort of fleshed itself out because we had more to work with. And then Kyle had, was forming ideas and just kind of going, he would call me, be like, what if we do this and we can do this and we can do this. So by the time we had gone to the first, or the second proof of concept, he had, pretty much a laid out plan. And we just sort of fleshed it out. But in the first one, no. Kevin,
when you were looking at the script originally, and maybe you didn't know that your character was supposed to be more serious, although he comes across serious, he's passionate, he's serious. He does. Yeah,
there are moments.
Exactly. Yeah. But he's doing a show with children, so he can't be that, authoritarian. But where was the humor coming from, in your opinion? Was it presented as a comedy? And when you were reading it, where did you see the comedic beats originally?
There are just little bits. And like the first one, when he first meets Nilo, and, I got my gun on me and I'm slowly pacing to the car because I see this guy falling asleep and I don't know what's going on. And then I think it was Kyle just made a note, like when Nilo wakes up, you just kind of like, you have the gun and it's a serious moment. And then at the moment you just started to go like, oh, hi. And then they kind of form this little relationship. And once you start doing that, you're going, okay, now I can see how are these two going to get along?
Right.
They don't know each other. They're complete opposites. And I think as, your actor instincts to say, okay, how can we make this to where the audience is going to enjoy and want to watch and this sort of dynamic play out.
Right.
And it sort of just fleshes itself out. I mean, and again, Kyle and I were always on point from, day one. Like he would just say, I kind of do this. We would do different sort of takes with scenes and things like that. But as you begin finding out the relationship, by the end of like the 2 days, we filmed that first proof of concept in like 2 days. Like Neil and I, like we're buddies. Like it was, you could see it. I know.
Oops. Well, I can't stop that.
We're sharing a pee together and all of that. So,
now that's relaxed.
Yeah, right.
Well, you want your main character to be likable.
Then when he showed it, I was like, oh my God, this is really okay. I see what we got. And then when we did the second proof of concept, we did sort of play with some seriousness.
Oh, wow.
Kyle will tell you kind of what he wanted to do, maybe with Nilo's character, but like with me, we had a moment where we went, okay, let's just have the camera on you. Like maybe you don't know what's going on, and let's get serious here.
Right.
And we did that for a little bit, just to see what we would have, and then
Well, Chef John, you assume everybody's hiding or lost something aside from the stated, for you, younger brother, and for Zuzu's character, a husband. But looking at the town of New Missoula, can you talk a little bit about that set and how did that reflect this? Does a little town in the apocalypse reflect the set of an indie film? The little ecosystem of it,
and maybe mention the wildfire and all that good Montana stuff.
Yeah, go ahead, use it, Zuzu.
I'll say a quick thing and then you can go. Kyle said he wanted an apocalyptic town, and he's like, New Missoula is this like Gilligan's Island like town in the apocalypse. And we did a proof of concept that was like 2 minutes just to show investors, and we had that. It was very small. We did it in the woods, and Kyle really built most of that set. And I was like,
Oh,
oh, I
wow.
see that. And he was like, for when we film the feature, I want a town. I want a town. He kept saying that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, a town, but we're an indie film. We don't have a huge budget. And then when I got on set for the first time, I'm like, holy cow, this is a town. We had the back lot of the Ferroplex studio, which is in Hamilton, Montana. It was just gravel. It used to be a drive-in
Oh, that's
movie
cool.
theater.
Nice.
So it was just like this big open gravel area, and they totally built a town. We had all of these little businesses that we were able to get as like product placement in the film. They each had their own storefront. So we had like a Paul's Pancake Parlor, which is iconic for Missoula.
Oh, so
Oh, is it
those are
really?
actual named after actual places.
That's cool.
This is why I love independent film,
Yeah, I
right
know.
there.
And my copy was from a VHS. So originally the copy that I downloaded on the internet was from the original VHS, which wink wink was brilliant.
Yeah, all those little nuances. But yeah, it was incredible. There was like multiple streets you could walk down, and it was just, it really felt like this whole little town.
It did.
And like you mentioned with like the ecosystem, it all functioned together just as like the crew of an indie film does. And it yeah, I love that.
Interesting. And I read, Kyle, that you're a big fan of kindness, which is weird in your industry, but you like kindness, you like hard work. And having said all that, is that kind of an energy that you could bring to this movie? Having a set and having a little space and having a place for the actors to feel like they're in a world.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just a testament to everybody, because our crew and that whole the crew, the cast, everybody got so close during that time, and we still are very close, like with the background actors that had never been on a film set before. We still see them on everything, and it was such a close family. And I can't speak for everybody, but we do hear it all the time. They're like, "Oh, that was my favorite set I've ever been on," and we were all so close. We knew pretty much all the background actors by name. By the end of it, I mean, most of the background actors got to play a zombie, a marauder, and a townsperson. So each person had like 3 different roles. We just dressed them up differently.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a blast. And there was, we called in pretty much every favor from everybody we knew, to kind of make it happen. I mean, tearing down that town at the end, that was me and Zuzu and like my mom and my dad and my brother.
Oh my gosh.
And a couple of random people.
Really?
But
It took a long time.
yeah.
It also
did
was
take a long
like
time.
covered in snow because we wrapped in October, and we had a very early snow that year. And
Oh,
so everything
no.
got
My gosh.
blanketed.
Things to put in the
Snow,
budget in the
froze.
future, right?
Well, it
To
feels
tear
like-
down
Yeah,
crew.
100%. Yeah.
It
We were
feels
like chiseling rugs out of the ice.
Oh my God. Grizzly bears walking through.
the idea of a cooking show in the apocalypse seems like a unique production win, but also a challenge. But there's also a hero's journey here, and there's multiple ends of the world and CG and practical effects. How did you, aside from building an entire town, this movie feels so big. It feels so expansive. It feels just very immersive. How did you all, and Kevin as well, with you, how did you make this movie feel so big?
Me?
Um,
Go.
you start, Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin, what was your experience in all that, and how do you think the movie feels so big?
It's like Kyle said. The first day I showed up, well, he called me. He was on a golf cart riding through the town, and so I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. And then you arrive, and then you see it, and he's no joke. These are streets You could literally go down. You had like the mayor's house. You had these storefronts. It's amazing. So as soon as you get into that, and how they had everything set up in the studio, it's right there. You're like, oh my gosh. I mean, we're in a world. Even in the proof of concept, we're in the woods. Like that was a world.
Sure.
It was like something from MASH.
Mhm.
Like it was, and everyone's playing, and everyone is so committed. That's the one thing. I keep saying to everybody, from us to the crew to the extras, everyone was 100% in and loved doing it. So you want to bring your best and try and do your best like you would anyways, but this sort of just accelerated it. And so I know that there were foods that we had discussed. Kyle worked at a restaurant near where I was working with Chef Otto, who like makes amazing food. So that's how we got like, Chateaubriand, and that's how we got, the shakshuka and all these
Really?
ideas. And some of these foods I had never heard of shakshuka until I got on set, until I was reading the script and going, shakshuka?
Yeah,
What
me
is that?"
neither.
Right? But Chateaubriand, we serve at our steakhouse, and those are big foods. Like those are mega, pricey, high end. So you can't help but just fall into how big it is. But when you see the zombies and you see all the marauders, and
Yeah.
You're bringing in, these actors, it's just like it's already so big. And then you're like, okay, we're going to film this, and then when we watch it, we're going to see the zombies doing their thing. We're going to see these robots. I couldn't wait to see the robots. Couldn't wait to see,
Right.
right? Like all of that stuff. And then when I saw the final product, the film, my mouth was,
I know.
I just cannot believe it. And I'm looking at it from the outside looking in, even though I'm in it. I really was paying attention and just was in shock, because you just fall into this world. And Kyle did, and the effects people were, I can't even begin to tell you how an amazing job for what the budget that this movie is. And that's what I keep telling people. Like it's unlike anything you've ever seen.
No, that's
Well,
correct.
and-
That's
and-
correct.
Really
And
stunned by
everything
it.
you just
Yeah.
said about the crew and everybody being as one and together, it's still with you. Your enthusiasm,
Oh yeah.
and you've done, I'm sure, countless interviews promoting this, and yet I feel it from you still, like it just happened.
Yeah.
That's a true testament right there.
Kyle and Zuzu, as a business entity behind this film, what's it like to hear, an actor say that about the film, especially when some things are probably hard to do? Like the CG looks great. Like the film looks great. And as Kevin said, I'm sure it looks more expensive than it probably was. Does it feel good to hear that?
Yeah, definitely. I think such a collaborative effort that's the key here. I mean, everybody was so dedicated and really came together as a family and wanted the best product possible. And to see it on screen and to hear other people talk about it in that way it's very cool.
Yeah. Kyle, was it, can you talk to some of the technical aspects? Again, the CG looks great. The makeup looks great. How did you win so hard there?
Well, I guess first off, like originally it was like the first, because we did 2 iterations previously before we made the feature. And the first one, it was just a disease. There was no other apocalyptic things going on. But once we were like, I don't remember, I think I was driving one time and I was just like, oh, what if it's everything? I mean, this this idea is ridiculous as it is. What if, everybody had a different theory about how the apocalypse would happen, and in the end, everybody was right.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
That writing is absolutely
That was hilarious
brilliant.
intro to the movie. Everyone
Thank
was
you.
right.
Yeah. Well, and then I just felt like it kind of gave me freedom to write whatever the heck I wanted. It's like, and it would be setting up the world to where, shoot, if I wanted zombies to come in for this scene, they could come, because we all know, and so when before I started writing it, in the second proof of concept we did, I looked for somebody to help me with some really light CG, like basically 2D compositing, like an explosion and things like that. And when I was chatting with him after, I was like, hey, I'm going to write this into a feature. And I was like, what all can you do? And he's just like, well, if you get me this mocap suit, which it was the expensive one, he's like, get me that. He's like, and get me a 3D model of a robot that you have, publishing rights to. He's like, I can put a robot wherever you want it as long as I'm on set with you and we can get everything we need. And I was like, so if I want like a battle between the humans and the robots, you can make that happen. He's like, absolutely. And I was like, okay, I'm going to write in a battle.
You just
dude.
opened up the script. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I kind of knew all that before going into it, that I kind of had freedom, and I didn't want to, I mean, typically on your first draft, you don't want to think about budget, I mean, you do kind of, but you kind of just want to write the biggest idea you can,
Sure.
and then once you get into production or getting close, be like, okay, what do I have to take out and whittle down to work with our budget? But we just didn't whittle anything down. So
really?
Yeah.
Well, it sounded like you added a little bit.
Yeah, no, we definitely did. And there was there ended up being 300, not quite 350, but I always say 350 because that's how many the first Star Wars had.
Yeah.
And I want to be like,
that's how many
our
effect
film
shots you had.
But
That's amazing.
So yeah, and it was definitely a lot. We went pretty old school as far as how the effects would happen. Like when we had Andy's character who had his brothers and stuff like there all around him, we just locked the camera off and did multiple, takes of Andy, and that was
that's cool.
That was a challenge. That was a challenge because getting the timing right and stuff like that. But Zuzu's uncle, the editor, Dave Greku, he's a amazing dude, super talented, and he ended up doing a lot of those like split screen effects himself and not sending them to our guy.
Wow.
And I can't tell, but I saw the timeline in the edit, and like there's that scene where it's Chef John and then the two Andys like below him after he's kind of got out of the ropes.
Yep.
And that is like, I was like, dude, it's amazing the timing. We shot the timing just perfect. He's like, no, you didn't, dude. And he showed me the timeline, and it's
really?
Andy is like, he's like doing he was finding like beats that Miguel Matanani, the actor who played him, was like doing similar things. And so I can't find the cuts, but they're there somewhere where he like combined things to give extra breathing room to wait for dialogue.
That's exceptional.
But
well,
yeah,
the fact that he bought into your movie that deeply, because isn't he an editor for big
he's done
movies
some things.
or something?
He's done some things.
Yeah, he's definitely had.
Yeah. Talk about your uncle.
Real quick, I just want to say, well, when he first came on, he was busy and stuff. And after a couple weeks, he was like, I got to be honest, when I came on, I was doing this as a favor. He's like, but after seeing this, he's like, I'm all in. He's like, I love this so much. And
wow.
Yeah.
I think that's real. I mean, that's exceptional. I mean, does it come up at Christmas occasionally? Like if you underwhelmed him with his gift, or is he like, remember Cuisine De La Pocalypse? Maybe we should pop Cuisine De La Pocalypse.
Remember that time at 3 a.m. I had to be on set the next day?
Well, Kevin, I read something that maybe I hope isn't true or is true. But is it true that at the end of filming, your director told you that most of the crew didn't believe you as the lead character?
Proof of concept.
They weren't in. They weren't sold.
Right.
Not sold.
No. What happened? What happened was everything was done. We're wrapped, and it reminded me of grade school because he comes up to me, goes, Kevin, let's go take a walk, and I'm like, oh god, oh no.
I'm going to get beat up in the playground.
And I remember we're walking, and I'm like, wow. And I, just a little tangent, Montana. I'm from LA. I've been to Detroit. I've been to Hawaii. I've never been to Big Sky, and it's a completely different world. It's if you can get up there, get up there. It's everything. The stars are, are amazing. And I remember when he said that, I looked up and I'm like, wow, that Big Dipper's really, it's big, you know. And I'm trying to stall this, and I'm going, oh no. And he goes, Kevin, here's the thing. You know, when you got here, now we have a crew, and they kind of know what this is, and they saw you, and I'm sure physical and just sort of what we were doing initially, and they just were like, I don't know if this is, I don't know what's happening. Why did he get this guy? But we were doing it for a couple of days. And as we kept doing it and going through takes, and I think also maybe that little moment that we had where John was sort of hallucinating and seeing things, and we actually did some serious stuff. Maybe they got to see a little range there, but I think because by the end of this, every single person here is like, that's Chef John, and no one else can be Chef John.
Yeah.
And I just was like, okay, like it was sort of a, you know, like a gut punch followed by a big hug, you know?
Yeah.
But that is something that I, you know, and I pretty much have that in me anyway. As an actor, I know, you know, I'm not going to overwhelm when I walk into a room. I am what I am, but I know that any talent or ability that I have can, you know, if it comes through, it comes through. I'm confident in that. And so, but we were very committed in what we were doing, and I'm following, you know, Kyle and I were completely lockstep as to what we wanted to do, different takes, different iterations, things like that. It was like, wow. And part of me went, yeah, no, I can see that. And it wasn't anything negative. I just went, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. Especially getting to know who the initial Chef John was supposed to be, who's awesome. He's such a nice guy, but you know, he's intense. And we talked about it. And he said, no, I was going to bring this and I was going to do this. And he goes, but no, he goes, I've seen it. And I go, yeah, you're the guy. Right. So it's one of those, you know, especially when you find out with these amazing films, like, you know, they wanted this actor to play this, but it went to that actor, and you're thinking, oh my God, thank God. No, nothing against that original actor, but thank God it went to that actor, you know, like, so it was just one of those things. And I couldn't be more proud. Like, I was like, whew.
Well, you know, I wonder what the learning is there. Like Daniel Day-Lewis, I'm glad he passed on this. That would have been too intense. But, you know,
I agree.
I can't see anybody else playing Chef John either. And you know, I've watched the movie 5 or 6 times now.
I mean, but your take for sure. That's, you own the screen.
You've spent, you know, a lot of years in acting studios, Kevin. You're an actor, and you love acting. It's clear. And you and Zuzu are the emotional heart of this. So I'd like to ask you, again, you talked about showing range. I think there's a lot of range in this movie, but it really shocked me how touching and tender this movie is. The relationship between you and your sister-in-law. This is fascinating because it's an in-law. I miss my younger brother. I miss my husband. Different kind of anger, different kind of pain. Can you talk a little bit about how some of those scenes worked out for you? Were they easy to do right away, or did you have to work into a rhythm? Because you tete-a-tete a few times.
Yeah, there's some harsh moments there.
Yeah. No, you have to work into them. I'm so glad that we had them, because Chef John can be this, he's just sort of aloof, and he's Gilligan. And I was hoping that the audience wasn't going to see Gilligan for the entire film. There needed to be those moments. But within those moments, and we really haven't, you know, we touched on it, we didn't really go too deep, because it's my brother who's out there. It is, you know, her husband, but it's my brother. And how did he get out there? And so we're still hoping to explore that. And that had to be beneath some of those moments, especially in the scene with Sweet Melissa, where, you know, I'm telling her, like, hey, you know, I don't get to see my niece and my nieces. I don't get to see them. And what are we doing? And I remember when Kyle said, no, when you do that, like, I want full out. And so I'm, you know, that was like, wow, okay. But I'm so glad that we had those few moments in the film, because you needed to have that. You need to have that relationship with the two of them, with Laura and John. Need to have that. Because there's a reason why everything is happening. John's on his quest. Nothing's really going to stop him. But He is thinking. He does know. He does know that there are things back at home that need to be kind of handled and dealt with. And with Laura trying to kind of keep things sorted together and keep things sort of rational amidst all the craziness, and she's going through her pain, and she's still trying to deal with that. So, and again, how he put that and they're all at perfect points in the film. It's, you have that moment in, where they're in the forest, and then there's Chef John with his rotisserie, like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
And then we have, right. And so
I'm laughing now. I'm laughing.
Well, I'm hearing the music, but I don't want to get there yet. Zuzu, I just want to.
We'll get to that. Yeah. Oh, favorite part of the film is that scene. But you had to have those moments.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad to have them. And it was a challenge that I was more than happy to take on, to hopefully evoke that and have the audience see that as it plays out. So the fact that, you guys did tells me everything, because they're so important to have. You got to have it.
Zuzu, you're absolutely stunning in the scenes, because you have to be the constant buzzkill, which can't be fun. You're like, no, we can't, no. And it's all very reasonable. This is the apocalypse, but Chef John's endless positivity is quite infectious. He's doing this thing that's multi-generational. He's got a cooking show that employs children and the elderly. Move the bag. Move the bag as a side note. Oh my God. But again, your performance is phenomenal because you're very likable. So how?
It's good to see you smile in your.
Yeah, you don't get
this
to smile
face that
much.
I'm seeing is not the person I know
funny.
from just watching the movie.
But the most inarticulate question: how did you do it?
It's just natural. You can't not like me. No, I'm just kidding. It was in the writing. It's in the writing. I mean, the audience can relate to Laura because she's a mom. She wants to protect her children. Like, that is such an innate just thing inside of so many of us that the audience can automatically relate to. John's crazy, but he's so lovable, and you're rooting for John the whole time because he's he's John.
Yeah.
But I think that Laura gets to be the grounding force and the relatable character, even though she's just killing his dreams and just no fun the whole time. But I love that you just said that that you get to see me smile, and I'm usually smiling. I smile a lot.
I don't know that you smiled the whole movie.
That's acting.
There was like one time.
Yeah, you ate something, or you said this is really good, maybe.
Yeah,
you had like a little grin,
maybe.
But nothing. Look at you now. You're beaming, and I'm like, who is this? Is this the girl that was in the movie? I don't know.
That's I've heard that before in other interviews too. It's like, why do you look so different? Oh, you're smiling. Okay, we didn't get to see that. Yeah.
The every show I use a clip from the film that I don't know how I choose it. Sometimes I choose it just something more profound, and it was for this film I chose the scene where Chef John's cooking chili, and it proceeds at horrible death, which I didn't like that. That the big guy had to go. I get it. Brilliant move, but it hurt last night, just like it hurt the first time when that happened. But I picked that scene about, does that make it better? And you're like nope.
Yeah, like she hasn't been through enough, with her husband now. It's dad.
Right. The Kyle, the idea of never work with kids, never work with animals. Does that extend to food?
To never work with food.
Yeah, is this a hard thing to deal with, to have to contend with in the film? Because it's presented, I'm just really curious, eating in films, I'm always fascinated, the spit bucket and all that. But food is important, and I love that theme in the film. But is it hard to work with food? Kevin talked about that a little bit, but how'd you make that work in the film?
Well, there's like two things. So like number one, they put the chili in glass bowls that were clear. And I'm like, do we have any other bowls? And they're like, oh, that's all we have. And I'm like, that's going to be a continuity nightmare. But you never, because, the level's going up and going down and you can see it. That's why like in films, they eat out of Chinese or, takeout things because you can't see what's in there.
Oh, yeah,
Anyways, It ended up being fine. But the big thing was we had all the food on set was real. So and it was just as delicious as it was as it looked. And when we had Chef Abe. He runs a few different restaurants, I think, at this point in Missoula, and he was just amazing. And he would come in and just cook it, make it look beautiful. And then when we'd wrap the scene, everybody would just kind of gravitate towards the table and just we were like feeding each other, like, and it was so
Are you gonna eat that?
good.
Well,
Yeah.
the idea was not to make it look too good, right? But so was that a production design challenge to, be under the scrutiny of how good the food looked, or did it not really matter?
No, I mean, I kind of wanted it to look as good as possible, to be honest with you, just to lift up Chef John and his vision more, you know? And then like the paella at the end, it was not scripted as paella. It was scripted as, I want to say,
I don't remember.
Kevin, what was the one from the proof of concept? It's noodles and bacon.
Oh, like lo mein?
Carbonara.
Oh, spaghetti carbonara.
Carbonara.
That's heavy cream in the
Yeah.
apocalypse. That's bad for
Yeah.
the tummy, probably.
Yeah, right.
Or
But I
heavier.
was just kind of like, I talked to the chef. I'm like, hey, so here's the scene, and it's scripted as carbonara. But I was like, what is your prettiest dish? Like, what's the most amazing thing that if you're showing off, what are you cooking? And he's like, oh, paella all day. He's like, it's technically pretty hard and it looks very beautiful. So then we switched it to paella.
Nice.
And then I remember on the day, it was also scripted for him to say bon appetito, or whatever.
Sure.
And one of my producers, Joe Borden, comes up to me like in a panic, I feel like, and he was just like, dude, he has to say buen provecho instead. He's like, because that's what he would say from
Sure.
for this dish. And I'm like, oh, okay, Kevin, is buen provecho. He's like, okay. And then
So
yeah,
you care about the details, the continuity. I wouldn't even thought about the chili bowl thing. I get continuity, but I'm so sorry that you have to think about even minutia like that. That sounds very, very difficult. The idea of your villain is brilliant because you have a dynamic villain. You have the chance for a lot of unique character acting to go on. Did you look for a stand-up for that intentionally? I'm a big fan of stand-up, and Natasha from the old days. So were you looking for somebody who was in the world?
From the 90s are.
Most boys from the 90s are. But were you looking for stand-up for that? And how much improvisation was just involved in general?
Mm-hmm. So with her, we weren't explicitly looking for a stand-up for Sweet Melissa. We had a few other people in mind. Honestly, it's kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier. Sometimes you want somebody and then they're like, oh, but we got this person instead. It's like, oh my gosh, like it couldn't have been any more perfect, So we had a few people we'd reached out to for that role. But Joe Borden, one of our producers, he was a writer for Tosh for a long time. So he was really in that circle.
Yeah.
And at one point he brought her up and I was like, if you can get her, yeah.
Sure.
And then he forwarded the email that was like, hey, Natasha's in. And I was like, no way. Are you kidding me? And then Shashi came out and with her role was so technical and we had her for 2 days.
No.
So
I was worried it was short, but that's really short.
It was, yeah.
So there's no improvising. I think she stuck to the script 100%, right?
Yeah, because she was just like she had Carrie Fisher's job in Star Wars. Yeah.
Again, my esteem for this film just went up even more. Again, wow. Well done.
We didn't get her until a week or two into production. We didn't have a Sweet Melissa cast.
Oh.
And so we were like, "Ooh, it was something. Are we gonna get somebody?"
Zuzu, were you gonna have to double up, like in earnest? Were you looking at? You were really.
Joe versus Volcano.
I mean, but is that something that at that point is starting to talk, or is it like we'll figure this out and we got lucky with our?
We had a really great local choice.
Okay,
that
awesome.
would have been so great. But we did get Natasha the last minute, and it was a big celebration.
Well, that's
It
great.
was.
And Kevin, what was it? Any stories of working with the big bad?
For who?
Working with the big bad guy on the film.
Oh gosh. I mean, I was part of, hearing all the background, who we gonna get, and when they mentioned, I was just like, oh my gosh, if that were to happen. So, she was great. It's amazing. It's like they said, they had, her script was crazy, to get all that down in 2 days.
That's true.
And she was amazing. Like, that was a big. You sort of don't want to get too fanboyish, even with Kevin Sorbo. I didn't really know Emilio that much. I knew of him, but I know what those. My thing to self was just don't get too, just focus on what you need to focus on.
Sure.
And so, but working with her was great. It was a great dynamic, and even the scene with me in the ropes, like, I just told him, like, just keep me on the ropes. Like, we're not gonna, we're gonna cut. I know it's gonna so many iterations. Like, bring me some water. Don't undo it or undo, because they're heavy, but I can hang with it. But let's just do it. And
I got a rash.
Oh, wow.
I know. So just working with her, just having her walk around and getting up close, and it was. You want to talk about a surreal moment in life where you're just going, oh my! I mean, because she literally came on like last second. So I didn't really see her until it's one of Kyle's favorite little stories. I don't see her until she opens the door. I never saw her. We just knew she was doing makeup, and so we were waiting outside.
Oh no!
The first scene.
So when she comes through the door, it's the first time I literally do see her. So part of my, I was like, when I'm doing this, part of that is like, oh my God, I'm hugging Doug the camera. Like, I mean, I was like, this is actually happening. Like, it was really kind of crazy.
Wow.
Because because we're kind of getting ready. She's like, yeah, she's almost ready. She's almost ready. And I go, are we going to meet up? Any sort of rehearsal? Like, nope, we're going to, Angie's going to bust through the door. The door's going to open, and that's when you're going to have your moment. And so even leading up to that, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, hold it together.
Right. But as an actor, you're ready for a lot of different things. And that was just another thing to be ready for.
But that's what this film was.
Right.
We got there, we were dealing, like, I'm sure we'll get into it, the wildfires. So we had to kind of redo everything. So, every day it was something kind of new. You figure it out. You have, the work you need to do. And it was just another part of it, but it made it, so much more enjoyable in a weird way. She's so professional, so nice. She was great. And, hats off to her, because boy, the amount of dialogue, just that gluten scene,
I know, that's the fact that it's dialogue.
Like, how
again,
are you doing this? Like, wow.
Great writing, great performance, but great writing. And Todd says it all the time on the show. Great writing is everything. And that's why this movie is so persuasive to so many people, because I've shared it with a lot of people, including my teenage kids who love it. For different reasons, and the cooking, the different relational dynamics. You mentioned Kevin Sorbo. Was it necessary to have some fun big names, big-ish names, or just need to have that kind of thing, or just fun to get some people who have been around?
It was something we had talked about with our investor. That we were just like, well, we want a couple of big names to help sell this. And as far as Kevin Sorbo goes, I grew up on Hercules. Me and my older brothers, I have 3 older brothers, which probably plays into why he had a brother dynamic in there. But I was like, I want to get Sorbo, and I originally one of the co-producers, his name was Joe. He was our high school resource officer,
Officer Joe.
Officer Joe. And so I wrote that part for him, and he was originally going to play it. And then I brought it up to him. I was like, hey, we're kind of thinking we have a slight connection to Kevin Sorbo. I was like, I kind of want to hit him up, but the only way we could do it is if we gave it the Officer Joe role. He's like, if you can get Kevin Sorbo to come out and play Officer Joe, yeah, you can give him that role. And then I was like, great, because we got Kevin Sorbo. And and then when Kevin came out, he was awesome. He just like Kevin Jack was saying earlier, not the three of those people that came in from outside of Montana, they bought into the world immediately. And like Kevin I took him out to the set and he kind of asked me some questions. He's like, so what all happened before in between like when I get taken by the zombies and when I come back? What happened? And I was like, well, Kevin, you got taken down to hell and you fought the Grim Reaper and you killed him, and you took his scythe and you brought it back, and then the zombies respected you, and you became their new leader. And he was just like, okay, all right. And then
a little drive angry
that's
action
his
there.
motivation. Wow.
And his son, how did he get cast? Sorbo's son?
So Kevin just kind of brought up, he's like, hey, so I have a son who's a couple of sons who are doing a lot of acting these days. Is there any spots that they could audition for? And I was like, well, I have one role that's uncast. I was like, it needs to be kind of a younger dude who's, suave, kind of like an Elon Musk, kind of business, Jeff Bezos, just kind of the, guy. And I'm obviously really big on like the family dynamic, and once it's a family affair, you put more into it, So before I even saw his audition, I was like, if this can work, then Kevin and his son get to come up and have like a little Montana vacation. They're gonna love it. They're gonna have a great time, and they're just gonna, be a father-son dynamic. What's the word? Father-son dynamic, anyways.
Yeah.
And so when we saw his audition, I was just like, oh, okay, done. I was like, because this. He definitely had that kind of, confidence in himself and in the role, and that's what the character was. He had to be super confident.
Yeah.
And so we that was a kind of an easy casting choice because we hadn't cast that role yet. And
I'm sure you enjoyed being so mean to Dad.
He is.
Yeah,
mean.
I know that was the one thing. I know.
So mean.
We had Sorbo had a little bit of back and forth in the email. He's like, does he have to be this?
Oh, no kidding. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, and I was just kind of like, well, I was like, I really want him to be. I was like, in the beginning, at the end when Officer Joe comes back, I was like, his comeback's going to feel. The more we can put him down in the beginning, the bigger his comeback's going to feel.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And
nobody.
And so it kind of became a thing where when I was talking to Kevin about it, I was like, I grew up, with Hercules, huge fan, dude. And I was just like, when I recently watched Cobra Kai and I watched, why is his name escaping me right now? Who's the Karate Kid?
Ralph Macchio. Yeah.
Ralph Macchio. Yeah. I was like, when I watched Ralph Macchio kick that boba tea all over that like car dealership and just like, oh, there he is. There's the Karate Kid. I was like, my dream is for this role is for you to have that moment and people be like, oh, Hercules, he's freaking back, so and I didn't ask him to say, let's go Hercules on these iRobot wannabes. It was scripted as something else originally, and he did it. Him. Kevin was, he was really good at like usable takes. Every take he gave was super usable.
Wow.
And I did not have a lot of notes for him, which was for the good. I didn't want to give notes to somebody like Kevin. And
earnestly though, that I feel like when you put a moment like that in a movie, it's for movie fans, like going Hercules.
Yeah.
They look like the iRobot robots.
And
it came together, right? But does every actor respond to that well? Did you have to feel out the Hercules in him? Because I can maybe imagine some people go, not doing that.
Yeah, I honestly, it's funny because I didn't ask him. I wanted to. We wanted that, honestly, in that moment. And but I was like, but I'm not going to ask him. I was like, because he's done a lot more than just Hercules, and
sure.
like I don't want to. That's just what I remember him from, you know. And there's a couple other movies like Cole the Conqueror. You know, I
Saw it
love
in the
that
theater.
movie.
Yeah,
It's great.
I do. I celebrate that.
Yeah, and so I didn't want to ask him about it, you know. Of course, like my brothers were showing up with memorabilia to sign it for him. But we did the first take.
I'm trying to be professional, guys. Come on.
I know it was that, but Kevin was so awesome about that. He was
That's
just like
amazing.
You know, he
good.
He would personal little things on there. You know, he was awesome, and he was so fun to have on set. He kind of stole everybody's heart in a lot of ways.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Well,
But,
and him and his son are so literally larger than life. Because there's a scene where they're standing side by side at a crossroad. I wish I could remember. I think it's Chef John and two of the other. Might even been Zuzu. I don't know. But that shot, I'm just like, my God, they look like giants. To the other actors.
Very tall.
I remember our DP complaining about that. He's like, he's like, I can't get everybody in the shot. He's like, because Zuzu and Kevin, and then the Sorbos are 10 feet tall.
Kevin, Todd's favorite scene, I think your favorite scene, Lita Ford's favorite scene, I'm guessing, is a scene with you cooking obliviously, and this is kind of a two-parter. One, why was that so much fun? And two, why does the big guy use a shovel?
I'll answer the shovel question. Yeah. So in the original proof of concept, Wallace was a lot different of a character, honestly. He was supposed to be not likable, but then you can't not love Douglas, who plays him. And so I was like, okay, when we make the movie, we're just going to lean into that.
Sure.
You know?
Recording stopped.
Oh. Sorry.
Talking too long.
Oh no, we're still going.
Good old
Sorry.
Zoom.
Oh
no, it's recording
our
through our thing.
podcasters.
Never mind. Sorry.
Our roadcasters. Fine.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
we're good. Keep going.
So in the proof of concept, he's like, I want some sort of weapon, you know. And I was like, all right. When we gave him this little shovel, and but it was like a teeny one of those little like camping shovels.
Oh no.
And when we did the big one, I was like, I still want it to be a shovel. And I also like couldn't stop picturing the old man from Home Alone.
Sure.
You know, when he takes down the guys with the big shovel.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I just feel like that's kind of this character in a lot of ways towards the end. Not he's not scary at first. And I just couldn't get that visual out of my head. So I was like, it's a shovel.
Yeah.
And we went through a few iterations of the shovel. Like the production designer wanted to like make it this big, huge contraption with like spikes on it.
Nice.
He was like designing this whole and then Douglas was just like, I was like, I wasn't so sure about that. I was like, I kind of do want it to be simple, but I also want to trust my team and I want everybody to bring something to the party. And but I was like, but this is also something that Doug is going to have to wield. And he's going to have to be confident in it. And I was like, Doug, what do you want? And he's like, I want just a classic shovel that's had some years. And so then
in the straps,
we just kinda,
it's clearly customized.
Yeah, to him.
So he is obliterating some creatures behind you, Kevin, in your cooking and you're lip syncing. So clearly you went all in on that song, right? So like, can you talk about filming that scene and what gives you so much joy about watching it?
It's like in 3 parts, because when I read the script, I was like, oh my gosh, that's going to be okay. If that's executed, this is going to be great. I love Kiss Me Deadly. I remember that as a kid. And so now we're shooting. It was one of the more surreal, probably the most surreal thing that I filmed in this whole process, because I do have the headphones on. I am lip syncing. I practice the lip sync. I'm doing my thing, and of course Kyle's like, just do your shake your booty and just have fun and do your Chef John stuff. But as we are filming it, all this stuff is happening behind me, so I literally am not seeing anything. And so just going through takes after take after take, and I could hear people like kind of laughing in the background a little bit. So I was like, okay, everything's going okay. And then finally, you know, I do turn around and I see all the zombies. But at that point, my brain is just like, what in the world what happened here? Like, what was it? Everything that I sort of read. And I'll tell you, I'm watching this film first time. It was the premiere. And as the movie's going, I'm loving it. Pace is great. And I'm doing that. I'm like, okay, pace is good. Everything's good. Everything is great. And then this scene hits. I'm telling you, just if you just rewatch it from the beginning to the end of it, how it's shot, edited, the music, and just sort of the bigness, that camera shot at the end to Wallace, and just the whole bit of it is so, my mouth was on the floor. That was when I said, we got something here. Like, this is, now it feels big, you know, like I'm like, everything that I dreamed that it could be, it went way past that. Like, it was, because the song is so great. And really what Kyle wrote was so hilarious, because he's lip syncing it to this song. John's in his own world, is so oblivious, typical.
Well, and your sheer joy of that song let's give you some credit too.
Right, you know?
Yeah, the booty shaking was good. How many takes are we talking? I mean, logistically, for people who are interested, like, you have to be standing there for quite a long time in front of a flame of some sort. You're cooking. Was this hard to do, or was this, you know, just like...
No. Now, of course, the hand stuff, we did have Chef Abe, who is
cool
chefy to do that. So
nice.
We did have that. But just with me doing my thing. No, there were a few takes, but I could have done that even. I would like to say I could have done that all night, but at this point,
that's
I think
incredible.
we're around 2-3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And 2-3 o'clock in the Bitterroot Valley. It's cold.
Oh, okay.
I'll bet.
Okay. Very
so,
cold. So for a guy like me from SoCal,
yeah,
you know, but we did a few takes, but it was
that's
the most
wonderful.
fun and so surreal, because like I don't know what's happening. And so when I do the scene, you know, do the take with Wallace, and we're looking at it, and I'm going, oh, okay. Then I'm seeing how everything is set up. I was like, oh my gosh, you know, because I was near a propane, one of those propane heaters. I was not going to come out. So Kyle's like, all right, Chef John, come on out. And then I'm walking, I'm going, oh my, what? We got all these, what? The zombies are here? And and I'm like, I can't wait to see how this plays. And it played, it's still, every time I watch it, I just get goosebumps.
The movie has so many joy hooks. So we're going to let you go in a second. I've got an easy little fire round for you. Fire round. I don't know what that means, but how did the movie premiered, and how are best people seeing it? How is it stated right now? You know, physical media, merch. I'm just kind of interested in the state of the film. You know, did it premiere, and then, you know, what's happening with it currently?
Yeah, so we did our first premiere in Missoula, just so everybody involved could come see it. We had a 800 seat auditorium that we sold out. It was pretty awesome. And then we did a small theater run in Montana, which actually did pretty well. But now it's on Amazon Prime, it's on Tubi, Google Play, YouTube TV, you can buy it there. We're exploring physical media now. I really want to do a VHS. I just think that this movie is a VHS movie. It's
everybody's acknowledging.
Yeah,
it seems like
have the stickers for the dial up or whatever it was on the actual tape in the movie.
So
give it like a free copy of AOL with it or something.
Yeah,
and I feel
like waiting all my life for that.
You know, I feel like you're not being hyperbolic. So you feel like there's some energy there. You feel like because there's an investment, obviously, things like that, because of how you feel about the movie, because of what you've heard. What's giving you that confidence?
To me, this movie, and we said it from the beginning, we're like, this is going to be one of those movies you either love or you don't like, you know, it's not your type of thing. And we've gotten a lot of love for it. You know, the good reviews, people, you know, use the word love, you know, and you know, that there's like, we're starting to get kind of like a cult following where people are having watch parties and stuff like that. And I do kind of feel like this movie was always destined to be kind of like a cult film where it's like, because it's a cartoon, the whole thing is like just this big crazy thing. It's pretty unique.
8-bit.
And I don't, yeah, you know, and so we're just kind of leaning into that and hoping that, yeah, it keeps gaining traction more and more to the point where we can do another one or a TV show with it. So
okay, I'll react like open mouth to that, both another one and TV show. But also our theatrical runs still are opportunities there still for a film like this? Like what kind of opportunity gets this into a theater again? Because I would love to see this in a movie theater.
it's a unique experience in a movie theater, especially for like me watching it with other people, like, and getting kind of affirmation from like, okay, this moment's hitting how I want it to hit. You know, I've been in a theater, I've watched it a lot in the theater. Pretty much every showing we did like a Q&A after, not every showing, but like one of the showings for where it was playing, we do a Q&A, and like seeing people cry when Wallace dies, people like laughing at moments that I'm like, okay, is this gonna hit? I hope it hits. And then them laughing. And even some moments that don't hit. Me and Kevin have this moment where when we were filming it, we were dying. And it's crickets every single time.
What is it? What is it?
It's that moment where he goes into the camper in the beginning, when Laura, after they find out he uploaded the show to the internet, and he's like all excited to go on this journey, and he's she's like, "You win, John, biggest dumbass in New Missoula." And then he like pops up and he's got sunscreen on his nose. He's like, "Do you think the polar shift and
that seems hilarious.
Going to LA.
Dude, we were dying filming that because we're like, dude, it's that moment from Tremors where that girl has the, you know, like the white nose.
That's a favorite of yours, we understand.
Yeah, I've got that in my notes.
Yeah.
We absolutely love Tremors.
Yeah, we celebrate Tremors too. And so you got to put a little nod to that. We got to hear it, and everybody else who listens. But that got crickets anytime. What's wrong with us?
Every
I guess
time. I don't, but it's for us. We just enjoy it for us because, and like anytime me and Kevin have watched it together with a crowd, like we always kind of like look at each other after that moment, like, you know. But that's okay.
Snake eyes again. And Kevin and Zuzu are. It's hard to see your reactions, but when Kyle says sequel or TV show, now is there excitement? Is there still more? Because like I could tell from the us two and from what you're hearing, so you think there's more to explore in both these characters?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is anything written?
Outlined.
Okay. Ooh, awesome.
So,
thank you for entertaining that question. Sorry, that may have been a little outside, but
there's a lot there.
That's great. And I think a lot of us, there's so many people that would like to see this. And for our part, we're fans of yours as artists and actors and filmmakers. What do you all, and maybe starting with Zuzu, what do you have coming next that you're excited for us to talk about and to promote? And then we have a little silly, easy question for you.
Sure. So next up for us is a film called Counting to 1,000, which is much different than Cuisine, but I wrote it and Kyle will be directing. And we were lucky enough to get a Big Sky Film grant for it. So we'll be filming it in the next year.
Wonderful. That's a Montana thing. Shout out to Montana, correct? Awesome. Mm-hmm. Counting to 1,000. Kevin, what's going on with you? What are you excited about?
We're grinding. I'm close to getting some rep. And I have a couple of shorts that have been written that we want to do out here in LA. Those really work. If you can do, little 7 to 8 minute shorts, get them out into a theater. Mm-hmm. You can get seen a lot better that way. So I've got a few of those that we're working on right now, and just keep on. Just keep on.
That's awesome. Keep on. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And he's grown his hair out, and it looks awesome.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, you're not in the military post-apocalypse anymore.
Right, yeah. Trying something different.
Yeah,
figuring it out.
Absolutely. And Kyle, how about yourself? Aside.
Yikes.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I got. kind of getting deep into Zuzu's film, and then there's just crew work, random films that are filming in Montana that I go out and work on. But yeah, Zuzu's film's kind of the focus right now.
That is wonderful.
It's a beautiful story, and it's funny, and it's quirky, and it's going to be a lot easier to film than Cuisine. So,
oh wow,
I'm really
okay.
looking forward to that.
Well, you have perspective.
A quick question on IMDb. It says, it's IMDb, but it shows the three of you being in dark projections in post.
I was just gonna say
post production.
Oh yeah, that's very true. Yeah, so that was a kind of I don't know if this is the best way to sell it, but that was kind of like a wintertime movie. Like you don't have a lot of hours of daylight in Montana, and the work really slows down. And we were all just kind of hanging out. Should we do something right now? And yeah, we shot that in about a week.
Oh wow!
And it was definitely it was all just, we just did it. There was no money really put into it, and yeah, really hoping that hits. That one's definitely different. I'm not a horror writer, but I kind of leaned into that a little bit and been like, okay, how do I incorporate a hero's journey? Because I love the hero's journey, I love the classic tale. So how can I do that in this thriller world and still give these like scary sequences and stuff like that? And yeah, I think it's a unique film for sure. And it's more psychological than anything. But yeah, Zuzu was the lead in that, and then Kevin got to come out and play for a couple of days. And yeah.
Ooh, Kevin, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't give anything away. Is this Kevin? Can you say it's a radically different character than
Let's
the
just
chef?
say Zuzu and I are in a scene that is interesting.
Oh, I cannot wait to see this. How can one see this?
Just leave it right there.
Yeah.
It's in post
Still in
now.
post-production.
It's in post-production. Okay.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
So we'll keep you in the loop.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, we do have a rapid fire question for you, and it's customized to you. I would like to know from each of you, what is the best cosplay from Cuisine De La Pocalypse? Now, I'd like to see this get out into the world. Halloween is always a challenge for me, and I'm always looking for unique things. So what's the best cosplay? Even if it's Sweet Melissa. Oh, there it is. Okay, go. Yeah. Yeah, go.
We were, our family was characters from Cuisine for Halloween this year, and I was Landeaux, and it was so fun.
Oh, gee. That's awesome.
Well, prescient question. So we've got
flops
in
October in
Landeaux.
Montana. With the full flip flops and everything. Huh?
And there are kids involved here too. So you have three littles at home.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Yeah. So Landeaux, we have a vote for Landeaux. That's good. I like that shirt. Did you have a beard too?
No, I didn't do the beard.
Well, I guess he has. Okay. Kevin, what do you think is the best cosplay from Cuisine?
I mean, I Chef John's outfit is sort of unique, but take him out of it. I loved Wallace's look.
That's a good. Yeah,
right.
The eye patch.
Patch.
That's a good one too.
Carrying a shovel around.
I mean, all these characters could be like, we have visions of like little boys and girls kind of running around like in their little fatigue with their chef hat and the Laura hat and their like the suspenders and the shovel and stuff. Like it's just sort of that kind of thing. But yeah, the Wallace look I thought that's
actually a really good one.
Also, I have to say, Emilio's character, Lava Land. His whole, his outfit.
Everything about it was cool. He earned that Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
And
we should earn that.
And Kyle, it sounds like you've already done it, but what do you think maybe is the best cosplay from your film?
Well, I did Chef John, and that's my vote. But I will also say, like, when we had showings in Montana, we had some of the background actors showing up in their Marauder gear.
Nice.
No kidding.
So, like, yeah, there's this one gentleman, Derek Sorrell, who he was the guy. I don't know if you remember, but he kind of looked like Slash. So, Guns N' Roses. So he had these glasses here, and he had the long hair. And so we credit him as Slash in the credits. But he showed up to the premiere in his garb, and people were taking pictures with him and stuff like that. It was pretty awesome. So I think the Marauders in general are kind of like a nice.
The look is cool.
That's the start to your cult following midnight screenings.
Well, again,
right there.
this is what I see.
Rocky Horror, look out.
And finally, is there a perfect dinner and a movie pairing with Cuisine? I know you kind of talked about it, these pop-ups, but can you give me a suggestion of what best to eat and drink in your various opinions while celebrating? Because there's a little bit of food porn in this movie, to be honest. So what's the best eat and drink with Cuisine De La Pocalypse?
I think some sort of beautiful steak with a red wine pan sauce makes the most sense.
Chef said thank you.
And a margarita.
Taquitos. Yeah.
It goes well with taquitos.
Oh, that was
because
Ryan, I
you
just want to
said
say that was a really good question.
well, you said pop-ups are happening, and in our household we like themes, so I cannot help but want to watch this film
and cosplay
with probably paella, and in cosplay I want to be Sweet Melissa with the TV head. Like I want to go like full
iRobot wannabes.
You know, I want to do that.
I want to go full on.
Zuzu, Kevin, Kyle, thank you truly for speaking with us. This is a huge thrill. Thank you for your art and thank you for your film. And if you would, we will keep abreast of what's going on with you. But again, thank you for making your art and thank you for entertaining us all.
Cool. Could I do a quick little plug?
So much.
Yes, please.
Yeah, just anybody listening, if you can give us a review, whether you like it or you don't, we'd love to get your review on IMDb, Amazon Prime. For indie filmmakers, that's kind of our bread and butter. Like the more people review it, the more people will watch it, and the better chance we have at making another one. So
that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, please do.
We want to help those chances. Thank you all truly so much. We really appreciate you. All the best.
To you.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you, guys.
so
Thank you.
much.
Who are those guys? Who are those guys?